Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. So take a look at this graphic and what you would notice is that the amount of carbon dioxide emission in the world, it has been skyrocketing. This is a truly staggering chart because it matches the rise of cryptocurrencies and Adani stocks, and now we have CO2 rise. So this is worrying the world. Why is that? Because as per a Lancet report, it was found out that roughly 9 million people die every year, and those deaths can be attributable to the air pollution. Now, just for context, consider diabetes, which is a fairly common disease these days. Diabetes kills roughly 1.5 million people, but air pollution kills 9 million people. Now you'll say, yeah, I'm living in a clean environment. Probably I'm not living in metros. So why does it matter to me? Okay, so consider these factors now. For example, consider the case study of Bangladesh, and what you will find is that approximately 11% of Bangladesh will go underwater due to rising sea level. And these sea levels are rising again due to the increase in CO2 in the atmosphere, which is creating global warming. Consider, for example, a Central African country called as Chad. There is a very important lake there called as Lake Chad, and 95% of that lake has evaporated again due to global warming. So this entire depressing scenario is bothering the world. The countries are coming together and they are trying to figure out solutions whether or not something can be done on this front. A prominent solution is emerging, and that solution is hydrogen, more specifically green hydrogen. It is creating investment opportunities also. It is getting the entire world excited about this. In the Indian budget this year, it was announced that 30,000 crores are going to be pumped in terms of this energy transition, and a large chunk of it will go into green hydrogen. So what specifically is green hydrogen? What type of investment opportunities you could consider? Are there some companies in India that are experimenting with green hydrogen? What the business model would look like? So this is the precise piece of conversation that I'm going to have with you. Now, many of you consider making these type of thematic investments. Thematic investment means green hydrogen may will put some money, or we are going to put some money in rural theme, or the real estate sector might go up. So I would want to buy some real estate stocks. So if you want to do these type of thematic investments, do consider checking some of my small cases. Small case is a wonderful platform for you to understand these theme-based investments. I'm linking some of my favorite small cases in the comment and description box. You could consider checking them out. So let's kickstart our discussion, and let me quickly help you understand the entire context around hydrogen and green hydrogen. What is the need? What specific utility does it have? So I will present some technical details, but I'll try to simplify it. So if you're not from a science background, do not get scared. I will try to present this information in a very simple format. So the first key term that you need to understand is a term called as decarbonization. So decarbonization, in very easy to understand term, means that in the atmosphere, the amount of CO2 has increased quite aggressively. Now, why has CO2 increased in the world? Well, there are several reasons at play. For example, vehicular pollution, the release of methane gas, the type of gadgets, equipments that we are using, etc., etc. Now, when CO2 increases in the environment, it traps a lot of heat. Why does it trap it? All that chemistry we don't need to know. Simple point, कि अगर CO2 is increasing, then the heat that will be absorbed will be high. So as a result, the global temperature is rising, and it is creating a bunch of havoc that I was speaking about. So decarbonization simply means that you are bringing this carbon intensity down. That is the simple concept behind decarbonization. Now, what is the primary mode of achieving this decarbonization? It is very simple, and you will find the answer here. Generally, this involves decreasing CO2 output per unit of electricity generated. So let's say that you're taking 1 kg of coal and you're turning this into electricity, that you'll burn this in a thermal power plant. And with this 1 kg of coal, you are able to generate, let's say, 1 megawatt of energy or electricity. Now, these numbers can be way off. I'm just helping you understand the concept. Now, what is the goal here is that let's say that's this 1 kg of coal used to produce like 500 kgs of CO2. Now, under decarbonization, what is the goal? That instead of using 1 kg of coal, you use some other material. And what that does is that it still generates 1 megawatt of electricity, because the world needs electricity or different forms of energies. But the goal becomes that instead of generating 500 kgs of CO2, you are now generating maybe 250 kgs of CO2. So this is called as reducing carbon intensity. Now, if you look at sub-steps or methods through which this can be accomplished, so roughly speaking, there are 7 specific methods. For example, you can do electrification with storage. So these are called as off-grid solutions. There can be heat pumps. There can be waste heat recovery. There are green gas and biogas generation of electricity that can be done. There can be hydrogen. So different methods are there. Now, this is not a science class, so I will not get into each of these, but I will help you unpack the hydrogen method. So let's speak more about that. Okay, so to understand the hydrogen story, let us pick the hydrogen-based cars versus electric vehicles. Now, for example, right now you might be hearing that, so many cars, taxis are going the EV way, electric vehicles. It's clean, it's good for the environment, vagera, vagera. But problem with electric vehicles, and there are a bunch of problems, but one of the primary problems in terms of electric vehicle is that you have to change the entire infrastructure. Second key point is that the charging time is fairly high for electric vehicle. And if you charge your electric vehicle once, probably it will go up to 100 kilometers. Now, in the hydrogen system, what is being touted is that you don't need to replace and build an entirely new infrastructure from scratch. A lot of it has to be built, but a lot of it can be built from the existing system that is already there. Now, this is being applied not only in the car or automobile space. This is being applied in the gas distribution space also. For example, if you're living in Delhi or several bunch of metro cities in India, you would be seeing that there is a gas pipeline. Now, these type of gas pipelines are fairly common in Western countries. So let me show you a very quick point as to how the UK government is experimenting with this hydrogen space when it comes to gas distribution. So this is what they say, that by 2032, the UK gas distribution network will be predominantly polyethylene pipe that is capable of transporting hydrogen. We won't need a parallel system at a distribution level. So this is the primary advantage of moving to hydrogen-based systems, be it in form of gas distribution or automobiles or building public transport. So the application of the hydrogen system might not involve the complete overhaul of the de facto or the existing systems that already exist. Now, just to help you understand the entire context, you can go and read this particular block where I have given the pros and cons of using EV-based automobiles versus hydrogen-based automobiles. Again, I don't want to make this a chemistry class, but this will help you understand the primary pros and cons across both. Now, realizing this potential, companies like Toyota have already experimented in this space, and recently the news came out that one of the cars that Toyota designed, it was able to travel 1003 kilometers with one single charge. Now, this type of application is not currently yet possible in the EV segment. There are other countries like Estonia that are building their public transport system by using hydrogen-based technology. Now, I am not from a science background, so I might have made a couple of mistakes here and there, so please pardon that. My intent is to just simplify the investing side of things and explain you the technology and application behind it rather than going into hardcore chemistry and science. So that is the intent with which I'm covering this topic. So then comes the natural question that, okay, India mein kya scene hai and what is the Indian government doing in this particular space? So okay, couple of things there. One is that India is going to spend a lot of money. There are budget allocations that have been done, which is in tune of 35,000 crore. Out of this, approximately 20,000 crore is going for green hydrogen. Now you'll say green hydrogen, is there a pink hydrogen? Is there a grey hydrogen? Yes, there are pink hydrogen, grey hydrogen and vibhinna prakar ke hydrogens. Again, we don't need to become chemistry ninjas and understand what is pyrolysis, electrolysis, this, that. No, we don't need to get into all this. I read all of that stuff to prepare for today's video. So please press the like button. I know that you haven't done it. Please do it now. So to cut the long story short, don't worry about electrolysis, pyrolysis. Just take a look at this particular snippet. It will give you a basic overview of what grey hydrogen is, what is turquoise hydrogen, what is green hydrogen. In very easy to understand term, green hydrogen is clean hydrogen and grey hydrogen is not clean hydrogen. It is based on non-renewable sources of energy and green hydrogen is based on renewable source of energy. Now you might say that, okay, this looks like an amazing technology. So why is it that we even have EV? Can't we just simply move to green hydrogen? That is the same question I also had in my head. So I researched more and this is what I was able to find. Let's see, green hydrogen is not the ultimate thing. There are a bunch of problems associated with green hydrogen, right from storage to transportation. One of the key problems is that it is highly inflammable. And these days, a lot of Ola scooters are getting busted due to battery issues. That is not even hydrogen. So from that particular perspective, a lot of challenges are there that will hopefully get solved with time. This is an up and coming technology, and like any technology, it will have its own set of advantages, disadvantages, and challenges and opportunities for growth. So in this context, the Indian government has built a green hydrogen mission. Now, this is like a 30-40 pager that you have to go and read. I will link it in the description box. If you feel like reading it, please read it. Now, in that document, big things have been said that, we'll change this, we'll change that. Bunch of good things, which is very nice also, but you need to get to the core or practical part of that. So the practical part, I have picked it here, and what the Indian government is saying is that, our focus is green hydrogen. We want to become cleaner. We want to support the environment. All good things we want to do, and we have a vision for it. We are budgeting but please realize that we will launch this mission in a phased manner. Now, what is the meaning of phased manner? Phased manner says that, for example, imagine that this is 1950 and one of the government says that, you know what, we are going to send humans to moon. They cannot just simply make that claim and go away. First, they will say that, okay, phase 1 is that we'll build some kind of space rocket. Second phase is that we'll find some astronauts who are willing to go and risk their life and we'll train them. Then third phase is vagera vagera, fourth phase is this and that. So I hope you got the picture that that is how any ambitious goal is set. So right now, phase 1 is very, very basic, and what they are simply saying is this, that utilization of hydrogen in the refineries, fertilizer, city gas sector, this is where we will focus. So the summary point is that the Indian government is at an inception point when it comes to this particular technology, and it is trying to find applications and it is starting small. So just this particular paragraph should somewhat forewarn you that please don't get super excited about this space, that, you know what, if I invest in like green hydrogen based companies, I'm going to double my money in 1 year or 2 years. It might not happen. So from that context, let us study about 4 or 5 key companies in this particular space that might or might not benefit due to this green hydrogen thing. So the first company that I will briefly talk about is the Adani Group. I'm not saying Adani Green, I'm saying Adani Group, because it's a conglomerate family office. One company's debt can be passed on to the other and all that stuff can happen. So it's better to study Adani Group rather than individual set of companies. So this is the declaration that you can still find on the Adani Group's website, and what they say is that, you know what, they are doing a bunch of stuff, that they are going to invest like $20 billion and almost 75% of group planned capital expenditure will be in green business. Now, all these are fairly big points. One of their prominent partners when it comes to this green energy space was a company called as Total Energy. It was planning to do joint projects worth $50 billion, and this was a fairly big amount, but they have now backed out. And this is a fairly recent news that they are not going to go on this joint venture program with Adani Group. Their CEO has simply said that, you know what, I did not sign any contract, I am out of this. Now, in case you want to read that entire statement, I am linking it here, and this is an important paragraph that Adani has other things to deal with now, and this is in quotation. It means that this is the statement that is coming from their CEO. Adani has other things to deal with it now. It's just good sense to pause things while the audit goes forward. So this is the statement that has come, and it is highly unlikely that they are going to jump back into this deal anytime soon. So if you had invested in Adani Group of companies that India is going to pour like 20,000 crore, all of that business will go to Adani ji, this, that, please be a little bit careful. Do not try to play that game. That is not a fundamental game. It might not happen. And if you get stuck, you will not even be able to get out of that stock. Now, this is the statement that has come from Reliance, and they have said that we aim to transition to green hydrogen production from grey now by 2025. The company aims to reduce the production cost of green hydrogen to under 1 kg, and all this stuff is there, that they have figured out some partnerships, they are signing MOUs, vagera, vagera. But please consider this, that the focus of Reliance Group is fairly simple now. Their primary focus is to move away from oil-based business or energy-based business into more digital-based business. That is where they are finding success. Jio Platform is a technology company. Facebook, Google, Meta, all these different companies, Silver Lake Partners, that has invested in Reliance in its recent rally. They are all tech companies. So please be a little bit considerate and understand, number one point, that Reliance is what type of a company? It used to be a heavy oil-based company, energy-based company, which has now made a strategic shift to go to technology-based businesses. And within their energy-based business, they are saying that, you know what, we will move to green energy-based projects, and green hydrogen is one of the core areas we are looking at. Now, this can also be understood by looking at the revenue streams of the Reliance Group as of now. So if you consider this particular chart, you will be very impressed seeing oil to chemicals is roughly 57% of group's business. So at one point in time, this used to be 90% plus. So over time, it is coming down, and going forward, this entire pie is going to shrink. More of this pie will come from the technology business. So according to me, again, I would personally not put any money in Reliance Group from the viewpoint that I'm bullish about the green energy space. So yeah, so that is my viewpoint. Please do your further research. Now, the third company is called as IOCL. This is a public sector entity, and there is another company called as ONGC. Both are working towards promoting the green hydrogen, green energy agenda of the Indian government, which is good thing also. So let's look at specific plans that they have. So for example, IOCL has given the statement that they are targeting to replace at least 1/10 of its current fossil fuel based hydrogen at its refinery energy with its green counterpart. Second key point is that this is just a target. So even if they do like maybe 2%, so they can probably do that also. The third key point that you need to understand is that when it comes to companies like IOCL or ONGC, basically their business model is extraction of oil and processing it, so to say. They are not the end distributors in form of the products that will be built on the green energy format. For example, if you compare something like IOCL with Toyota. So Toyota is manufacturing a car which might use hydrogen cell. Now that is being given to the end consumer directly. There are margins associated with that. But when you are supplying just oil that acts as a basic fodder to build more products on it, you become like a low margin product. Additional problem here would be that the government is going to set rules that, for example, right now the government tells the discom units or the electricity producers that this is the price at which you can sell electricity. Similarly, when green energy gets produced, what is it that the government will say? They'll say that, you know what, we gave you like 20,000 crore of subsidy, time to give us back. So this is the price at which you will be able to sell. So that profit margin will never be there. And again, if I'm buying IOCL or ONGC because of this green energy thing, I will just not do that. Now comes the final company, which is a small cap company, which is a company that I am considering investing in, and it is called as MTAR Tech. Now please note down my word that I'm considering investing in it. Whether I'm going to invest in it, not invest in it, as of now, I have not made a final call. So far, it looks okay. I'm going to monitor it, but let me very quickly take you through what MTAR does. So here's the revenue breakup of the company. Basically, it is into precision instrument. Now, what are precision instruments? Precision instruments in very easy to understand term means that, for example, if you consider nuclear reactor, the parts that go into building a nuclear reactor, it can create havoc in case something goes off. So you need very precise instrument. That is what precision instrument means. So the company makes these type of instruments, and it is believed that this company might actually benefit from this green hydrogen revolution that is coming in India and the world. So let us quickly understand about this company and its business structure as of now. What you will notice is that almost 67% of its business comes from the green energy space, almost 17% from nuclear, almost 12% from space and defense, etc., etc. Now, if you study the investor holding, what you will notice is that FIIs and DIIs both have increased their stake, which is a healthy sign for such company, and good FIIs and DIIs have purchased the stake in this company. So this is good. This is definitely a healthy positive sign, no doubt about that. Now, third key point is around the debt to equity of the company, that this has a debt of approximately 25% on its equity. This is not a really bad sign for two reasons. So this is a small company. This is not a very large company to begin with. And second key point is that this company is expanding right now. It is in a very nascent stage, so to say. It IPO'd last year. It has been existing for last several years. So therefore, it requires to put in a lot of fixed capital in terms of building capacity, which eventually will help it generate its cash flow. So to cut the long story short, this is a nascent company, which actually genuinely requires debt, no doubt about that. So from that perspective, there are no major red flags here. You will again see that, 6.89 is in pledge promoter holding. See, this is an R&D based business. So they need very fast capital. They need to raise capital quite aggressively. This will always be a major problem in these type of businesses. That's one. Second key major problem with this business is that right now it is in that price discovery space. It IPO'd last year, so the price has danced around. It has come back to almost the same level at which it IPO'd. So price discovery is still taking place. Third, and the biggest risk in this business is that it is highly dependent on one single US based client. So that one single US based client is a company called as Bloom Energy, which is into making clean, reliable and affordable energy for everyone on earth. So this is a fairly wide mission. Now, if something happens to this particular company, then of course it is going to hit MTAR technologies as well, and it will suffer quite badly. This is called as revenue concentration risk, which is fairly high from this current company. So am I going to invest in this company right away? No, I'm just going to wait and watch a little bit, and then I will make a final call on it. I will give my commentary on the member community tab. You would consider joining that section. So in summary, this is what I will say about green hydrogen and green energy space. That number one, the commercial application or commercial viability of these projects is fairly far-fetched as of now. It is unlikely that the companies that are experimenting in this space are going to make crazy money right off the bat. A lot of money first needs to flow in, R&D needs to get figured out, products need to get built and tested. So we are very far off from this point. Number two, is this space needed? Absolutely 100% this space is needed. And I am really hoping that in terms of innovation timelines, it will get accelerated and some big company comes, picks up the mantle and actually makes commercially viable project in this space, entire humanity will benefit from it. Third, if you're looking to make investments in green energy, green hydrogen space, make diversified investments and be very clear as to what specifically will you track. For example, if you are investing in MTAR technology, please be worried about their revenue concentration risk. That are they expanding their revenue through different customers? If they are doing it, then probably it might make a lot more sense then to invest in this company. As of now, I would avoid. I hope you got my perspective and I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, do press the like button and I will see you soon.